Today we will study about statistics. In this session we will learn about measure of central tendency, and measure of dispersion. First, central tendency. Central tendency, or measure of central tendency, is a central or typical value for a probability distribution. It may also be called a center or location of the distribution. Colloquially, measures of central tendency are often called averages. There are three values of central tendency: mean, median, and mode. First, mean. If there are n items of data in a list, you could label them as x1, x2, x3, until xn. The sum of all these values can be written as sigma x equals x1 plus x2 plus x3 until xn. The symbol sigma means the sum of. So sigma x means the sum of all the x values. Using this notation, we can write that mean, or x bar, is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 until xn divided by n equals sigma x per n. Example. Given data like this. The numbers of data is 8, so n is equal to 8. Then we can calculate the mean. Combined mean. If we have a number of mean values, then to get the combined mean value, we cannot directly calculate average of the several mean values. That's because each of these mean value may come from a different number of samples. Therefore, to calculate the combined mean, we must consider the mean sample size of each. The formula used to calculate the combined mean of a number of k-means taking into account the sample size n, is x bar c equals n1 x bar 1 plus n2 x bar 2 until nk x bar k divided by n1 plus n2 until nk, where x bar c is the combined mean, x bar 1 is the first mean and n1 is the number of samples, x bar 2 is the second mean and n2 is the number of samples, and so on up to the k-mean. Example. Mean of height of 10 students in class A is 170, 1 cm, mean of height of 15 students in class B is 173, 4 cm. Furthermore, mean of height of 5 students in class C is 168, 9 cm. What is the combined mean height of 30 students in all three classes? From that question, we know that x bar 1 is 170, 1 and n1 is 10. X bar 2 is 173, 4 and n2 is 15. X bar 3 is 168, 9 and n3 is 5, so we can calculate the combined mean. Next, median. Median is the middle value when the values are arranged in order of size. If you have an odd number of data values, then there is only one middle value. Example, given data like this. We arrange the data from the lowest. The middle value is 17, so the median is 17. If you have an even number of data values, then there are two middle values. The median is the number midway between these two values. Example. Given data like this. We arrange the data from the lowest. The middle values are 7 and 7, so the median is 7 plus 7 divided by 2, equals 7. Mode. Mode is the value that occurs most often. Example, given data like this. From the data we can see that 2 occurs once, 3 occurs 2 times, 4 occurs once, 5 occurs 3 times, 6 and 7 each occurs once. So the occurs most often is 5, so the mode is 5. Measure of dispersion. Measure of dispersion is a measure that shows how far the data of a spread from the average. In this video we will study 4 of them. Range, quartile, interquartile range, and quartile deviation. Range. Range of a set of data is the difference between the largest and smallest values. The range of a set of data is the result of subtracting the smallest value from largest one. Example, given data like this. So the range is 15 minus 2, equals 13. Quartile. quartile is one of the values of a variable that divides the distribution of the variable into 4 groups having equal frequencies. Let we have a data distribution like this. And we divide THA data into 4 groups. The first quartile or Q1 is defined as the middle number between the smallest number and the median of the data set. It is also known as the lower quartile. The second quartile or Q2 is the median of a data set and 50% of the data lies below this point. The third quartile or Q3 is the middle value between the median and the highest value of the data set. It is also known as the upper quartile. There are some ways to determine the quartile according to the number of data. First, if the number of data, n, is odd, and n plus 1 is divided by 4, the quartiles is. Example. Given data like this. The number of data is 7, so the quartiles is. Second, if the number of data, n, is odd, and n plus 1 is not divided by 4, the quartiles is. Example. Given data like this. The number of data is 9, so the quartiles is. Third, if the number of data, n, is even, and n is divided by 4, the quartiles is. Example. Given data like this. The number of data is 8, so the quartiles is. Fourth, if the number of data, n, is even, and n is not divided by 4, the quartiles is. Example. Given data like this. The number of data is 10, so the quartiles is. Interquartile range. Interquartile range, also called the mid-spread, is a measure of statistical dispersion, being equal to the difference between upper and lower quartiles. The formula of interquartile is, IQR, equals, Q3 minus Q1. Example. Given data like this. We arrange the data from the lowest. The lower quartile is 6, and the upper quartile is 8. So, the interquartile range is. Quartile deviation. Quartile deviation is 1/2 of the difference obtained by subtracting the first quartile from the third quartile from the data. Example. Given data like this. We arrange the data from the lowest. The first quartile is 9, and the third quartile is 12. So the quartile deviation is. To increase your understanding of statistics, do the following exercise. Thank you.